Make hay while the sun shines. Work every hour that God can send. These are the things we used to say back in the day. But is it worth taking early retirement, or should you work as hard as you can right up to retirement age and beyond? Well, some of my friends are past the retirement age and they're still working. So why am I choosing early retirement? Let's get into the video. Some people said to me, why are you retiring now? You're only 57. You've got another 5, 6 good years left in you. I'll tell you why I'm retiring now before we talk about anything else in this video. Because I can. That's the first reason. And the second reason is life's too short. And the third reason is when you get to my age, in my industry, your options become less for work. So I've been contracting since 1989. That's a long time. I've always been fortunate enough to find work, but now I realise it's a whole new ballgame out there. The oil and gas industry has completely changed. It's no longer what it was like back in the day. Another reason I am choosing to retire now is because I want to retire through my own choice. I don't want to retire because I get sick. I don't want to retire and then be ill or, leave it too late. I want to retire and enjoy my golden years. And these will be my golden years. I don't want to keep working until it's too late. You're only here once. You hear all these cliches a lot, but it's true. When you get to my age, you start to realise that time's running out. Time waits for no man, and it's true. I'll give you a wee example of another reason why I'm retiring now. Back in 2007, I was working in Norway. A good friend of mine was there. You may have heard this story on previous videos. He was working beside me, and we were in a place called Kristiansand in the south of Norway, and he was due to go to Florida for 2 weeks. And just before he left, he said he wasn't feeling that great. Anyway, he came back to the UK, but he didn't turn up in Norway. And the reason for that was, as we found out, he got cancer. And that's why he wasn't feeling very well. When he went to the hospital, they did all the tests, and I never saw him again. 6 months after he was diagnosed, he passed away, and he was only 53. And Alan used to work every hour that God could send. He was one of these guys that they would work weekends, evenings, as many hours as they could, from 7 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I've done that as well. But usually just when there's been like a push on at work. And after Alan died, I thought, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I actually left that job, and it was a secure position I was in. I could have been there a lot longer. I'd been there for 2.5 years. But I ended up leaving and taking a short-term position. So that kind of had a real effect on me after he died, and I realised that I didn't want to be working every hour that God could send. So when I took the job, I took a job in Paris. It was actually only 40 hours a week. There was no overtime, and you know what? It felt so much better. But I didn't want to be working up until I was 65, because you hear horror stories about guys retiring when they're 65, and within 6 months they're gone, type of thing. So my retirement age is actually 67. The old retirement age in the UK used to be 65. But if you're an American, you can draw down on your Social Security before you get to retirement age. Now, you might think, well, if I keep working, yeah, you'll get more money from your pension every month. And you probably need that if you're going to be living in the States. It's the same as the UK. Everything's so much more expensive now. I feel sorry for the kids, my two daughters struggled to get on the property ladder. And now that they're on it, they're struggling financially because, energy bills are so high. So, it's very, very difficult. And the one thing about the Philippines is you don't need the same amount that you would need to live in the US or the UK or anywhere in Europe for that matter. So that's another reason why I'm retiring early to the Philippines. Of course, it's made easier by the fact that my wife is Filipina. So maybe if you're if you're in the States and you don't have a Filipina wife or girlfriend, maybe you're not even in one of these long distance relationships, that doesn't mean you can't go to the Philippines. The US and the Philippines have an agreement which makes it easier for Americans to retire in the Philippines. So you could go there and live comfortably for a lot less than you would need in the States. I know that for a fact. So, I'm not going to get into all the financials here and now. It's different for me because we own our house in the Philippines, so we don't need as much money. If we didn't have a house, we would have to rent one. But it's still big difference in what you need to survive. And the Philippines is great. You've got all the beautiful beaches and everything like that. So, you should think about early retirement. If you can afford it, that's the beauty about the Social Security in the States. You guys can draw down early. Yes, you don't get as much, but you don't need that much in the Philippines. So, for us in the UK, we have to wait until we're at retirement age. We cannot draw down early on it. So I've still got another 9+ years to keep my head above water before I get my state pension. But as I've said before, guys, I've got a wee online business and I've got some savings and investments that will keep me going. So I'm taking the chance and I'm getting out, pulling the trigger, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing it now. So what I'd like to know is if any of you guys have retired early, let me know when you did it. Where did you live? Did you go to the Philippines or are you thinking about it? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.